Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, the 4B, Demented Feminist Movement. It is not a joke. Will more males stop tolerating them? And the blatant disrespect, basically, of the misogynisticness of anti-male hatred, right? And I'm not talking about the type of males that'll sell out, and some gullible ones, and some naive ones, and some deflectors. They're also a major problem. And while in that the feminist movement is growing steam even more. See, the thing about it, before the U.S. presidential elections of 2024, many number of personnel within U.S. had not even heard about the 4B movement, right? The 4B feminist derangement movement that had nothing to do with even in the U.S., right? Had nothing to do with that. And the thing about it, after the elections of 2024 presidential elections, then the 4B movement started gaining steam even more, even though, again, it has nothing to do with even start in the U.S., but it got the tenets of feminism from various points of white feminism in the U.S. See, the thing about it, in this system, it's this system, especially within white feminism, which is also one of the most deadliest mental manipulation force that's ever existed, because they love playing crocodile tears and then switching to play aggressive tears, right? See, the thing about it, in this system, they want very much to rid as many males as possible, or to rid as many strong males as possible, right? They can't stand strong maleness, even though after the infrastructure has been built, even though multi-millions of lives have been lost over generations and generations and generations, right? Even though, however, military fights and things like this and conflicts of many numbers of males losing lives and et cetera, like that. Now you got feminists wanting to jump up and say, hey, no, what about us now? We want to be in control now. And there's many numbers of males ain't standing up to this bull crap, right? So again, let me sit there and show you what, again, a lot of the feminists, they would wish this can happen. Give me one moment, hero.
No forgiveness is necessary. We are grateful for your help, Wonder Woman. An entire Earth led by Amazons. How wonderful. Our planet, Demostera, is a rare pearl. The shadows flee at intensely bright light. Is there sufficient electricity nearby to... When we threw off male oppression, we discarded the infernal wheel of technology as well. It did not agree with our ways. Our old men, they live still, controlled. They serve us.
Woo! My goodness. And there are numbers of males that will be doing just like this. Watch this. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. This is what numbers of males will be doing when they hear stuff like this, right in front of many males' faces. Give me one moment. Where is it at? Right here. They be like, they see nothing, they hear nothing, and they know nothing, right? This is what quite a number of males will be doing. But feminism are right in front of many males' face saying, what y'all gonna do? Right? Because many males will jump in the face of males and bogart them in front of their face and fight them and even take their lives. But the minute feminists get in their faces and slap the living shit, how many every day, males get sexually abused, right? Most people don't give a dang about that. How many males get domestic abuse by numbers of feminism? And many people don't give a dang about that. But as soon as another male does something to another male, oh, they want to take the heads off of males. And here's the crazy part about it again, feminism is laughing at numbers of males who don't know the game. Again, let me play this again. This is what numbers of feminism would love to happen.
No forgiveness is necessary. We are grateful for your help, Wonder Woman. An entire Earth led by Amazons. How wonderful. Our planet, Demented, is a rare pearl. The shadows flee at intensely bright light. Is there sufficient electricity nearby to, when we threw off male oppression, we could discard the infernal wheel of technology as well? They did not agree with our ways. Our old men, they live still, controlled. They serve us.
Realness, right? Right? But that's not misogynistic behavior, right? Anti-maleness. Now, what if that was vice versa and an animation was done like that, showing that males were saying we threw off the infernalness of the numbers of feminine and stuff like that, trying to control us. Oh man, they'd be called toxic masculinity up and down the street, right? But this is tolerated, this kind of stuff right here. Even though, again, back to the thing with the 4B movement, again, that has nothing to do with anything dealing with equality whatsoever. It is about control. So let me go ahead and start playing that about the 4B movement as a timepiece purpose. Again, how many males gonna have to suffer, right, behind white feminism, right? That's destroying many numbers of males' mindset. How many more males got to suffer until more males start standing up to this nonsense? Give me one moment here. One moment here. Is that it? Okay, a second.
President-elect Trump's victory already setting off a viral storm on social media.
Start by taking back your power.
It's time for action.
Some concerned women now taking radical steps. You may have seen it, talk of the 4B movement gaining steam.
4B movement.
The 4B movement.
The 4B movement.
So what is it? Actually, a fringe feminist campaign from South Korea. The 4Bs, Korean for 4 no's, no marrying men, no giving birth, no dating men, and no sex with men.
What kind of nonsense is that? Again, prior to the 2024 presidential election, U.S., you didn't hear feminists like this in the U.S. talking like this. They was already having their demonic hatred toward males anyway, but at the same time, it was more, again, within the U.S. and certain parts of the first world countries, etc. But the 4B movement part wasn't even really talked about like that, right? Even though, again, in the U.S. presidential election 2024, you had numbers of women within the predominant culture that voted quite a lot for Trump. But again, you got people that act like they don't know about that, right? Because, look, womanism is about a caste system, just like feminism is a caste system. Womanism and feminism, they have a hatred also for other different type of women, right? They're the caste system. But unfortunately, there are numbers of women who don't get it through their skulls that they get used, right? Just like, unfortunately, there are numbers of black women within the ones this applies to that don't know that they are being used as pawns in feminism, right? How many forgot it was less than 100 years ago, black males were getting lynched. There were some black women getting lynched. Less than 100 years ago, black men definitely were sitting there getting segregated against. Black women getting segregated against, right? Less than 100 years ago, poll taxes, discrimination, violence toward males, black males, as far as trying to vote, numbers of black women were suffering the same thing. And who was right there besides certain numbers of males within the Panamese culture, certain numbers of women within the Panamese culture? Do you see how this silly game goes, and that certain numbers of American black women are getting laughed at for falling for it? But you see this thing right here, no married men. As if many males see many types. Well, excuse me, the numbers of realistic thinking male, which is smaller. They be like, so the heck what? Bye. There are many women around this planet to go talk to and marry, right? Which goes into jealousy, right? No giving birth. There are certain places that their birth rate is falling. In other type of places, they be like, look, we get out here with that crap. They want some babies, right? Either if they can do the natural version, let some health situations, or they adopt. They say, get the hell out of here. That's a feminism. Certain types of alternative lifestyle category, the ones who do this, who wants to sit there and not deal with men, right? Because again, they want a femiscara, right? The Wonder Woman thing I showed you. They want more women in control. They want to sit there and do their thing with more women, right? No dating men. There are numbers of males. They be like, so the heck what? Bye, right? That don't represent quite a number of other women in various parts of the planet. Now think about it again. White feminism is spreading. Don't get it confused. And last one, no socks with men. Many men again be like, excuse you, there are many other women to get with, right? So, because again, there are numbers of women within feminism, they want to control males and then and have males to do what they want. And if they don't do it, then they'll sit there and call them toxic masculinity and all misandry and misogyny and stuff like that. That's emotional abuse, by the way. That's mental abusing, by the way. Let's continue.
There's so much pressure in South Korea for women to have kids, and women felt extremely undervalued.
Started in South Korea. Again, the tenets of white feminism that numbers of South Korean women, the one this applies to, pick up, right? So numbers of South Korean women pick up the derangement, right, of white feminism from numbers of white feminism in various parts of the U.S., right? And I mean, in the audacity, right? The situation going on with the turmoil stuff going within North Korea and South Korea, right? And you got people in certain South Korea women, the ones applies to, talking about this when you don't know what's going to happen with North Korea, and you got the turmoil that goes on from North Korea about South Korea. Do you see how silly as heck that sounds? Excuse me. And here's the thing about it: how many numbers of women in South Korea, and the ones who some of the ones in the U.S. in that part, but speaking for South Korea, the ones that applies to numbers of women who get the eye surgeries, not dealing with because health situations, right? But because they want to look like certain numbers of women within the Padamese culture who they look at as their gods. This is why you see the skin, in certain ones in South Korea women that have, anyway, the ones that they how many of them skin bleach their skin? You be like, what the hell will they do that for? Their skin's already, non-melanation. Doesn't matter. They look at numbers of women within the Padamese culture as their gods. And then you start looking at certain things, what they call the K-popness and other things, and these girls groups and the boys groups. And you start looking at, and you say, where do they get a lot of stuff from? Black groups. You said that gold, right? See, that stuff is not called out enough, but that's not the topic for today.
So they have sort of banded together to not kind of give into these societal pressures.
South Korea has the world's lowest fertility rate.
Even though that's not true, they're in the top 3, right? But you see, it's still nonsense, right? They're within the top 2 or 3 lowest fertility rates, and they jumping around talking about, oh my god, 4B movement. And let me tell you something, boy. The controls are laughing their tails off at this, right? Numbers of super controlled white feminism that has control of the numbers of other numbers of women, the ones it applies to, they're laughing at certain types of South Korean women that don't get it, and some other places and around different parts of the planet that don't realize what is happening, the ones places it applies to, right?
Now, Google searches for 4B surging to record levels in the U.S. as one of its top trending searches in the last 48 hours.
I've been waiting for everybody else to catch up to speed for a while.
Alexa Vargas says she stopped dating men 2 years ago.
They like to keep us around for sexual pleasure, and they like to get married and have kids to have this family man sort of image. but really a lot of men don't value us.
Her TikTok post this week about
Man, see, here we go again, right? Somebody looks at her and say, oh, she's not a bad looking woman at all, right? She's an average looking woman, right? The thing about it is, but how many what they call simps or simpletons? There are numbers of males who are simpletons that will look at that and sweat somebody like that. This is again why numbers of women out there, the ones applies to. This is why they continue to be emboldened to sit there and disrespect numbers of males, right? And call them toxic masculinity and you hate your mom and stuff like that, and all this old crazy conversation, right? And there are numbers of males that cower down to this deranged monstrosity feminism movement, right? Because they know many males politically, socially, businessly won't do a dang thing about this, right? Because they're all scared, right? Collectively, we're very few numbers of males who see through this what it is, right? It is a controlness. It is a hatred toward strong maleness. And the system, white feminism, can't stand that. They don't want strong males, let alone strong American black males, right? And so you hear in this situation, this example, this average type person, oh my goodness, they're not going to date males to be a woman, male. Man, realistic male be like, girl, go to hell. Excuse me, go to heck, right? Who needs you? You are one of how many? How many of you? Averageness all around? But many males don't get it through certain male skulls. You don't sweat a woman for what?
4B, reaching more than 100,000 views.
I got hundreds and hundreds of comments on my TikTok talking about how women are wanting to participate in this movement now because of the results of this election.
Again, how many women within the predominant culture, right? Or they had what Trump women. And these little foolish, little, average type personnel like this, they don't talk about stuff like that, right? And then some of them, the ones that do, right, they have their own internal themselves misogyny toward other women. You see how that goes, right? But they'll switch it around and play little sleight of hand games. See, this is very, it is a very distasteful. Is it a very monstrosity of mental demonic strategy? But it's succeeding, right? And how people, some of these little nonsensical personnel in these little video, oh my goodness, males just want to have the sexual purposes. And you like, do they not realize that numbers of women are just as sexual as males? So they can get out of here with that game, but there's not enough males call that crap out, right? So, and the thing about it is, how many women, they don't want a broke man. They want a man to make a certain amount of money. You see I'm coming from? How many sit there and women sit there and use males, right? For, certain numbers of the procreationists, right? And the ones that do, say, some of the ones that get married and stuff like that are not married, but they had a kid or kids. And how many of those women within certain parts of predominant culture, how many of the women within certain parts of American black womanism, and how many other numbers of women from certain Harvard feminist spreading out movement in certain parts of the globe, they'll use that male, right? Mess him up a little bit, especially within certain parts of the U.S., mess him up a little bit, divorce him, take about half of his money, right? And however other resources and all that kind of stuff like that. And, don't give a damn about him. You see how that goes? It's the same recyclable game, right? And still numbers of males haven't caught on to that. Unfortunately, there are a number of males just going to learn the hard way, right? The power of feminism, right?
Because women don't feel safe in this country.
My life! Adding fuel to the fire, posts from Trump-supporting provocateurs with large male audiences, like white nationalist Nick Fuentes saying, "Your body, my choice, forever." And
the crazy part about it, there are a number of the personnel who know, especially within certain parts of American black maleism, black and blackism, the one this applies to, who know about Fuentes, right? Who know, they say, wait a minute now, we know about his, when he comes across as a very anti-American black personnel and stuff like that. Oh, they say some of them know about him very freaking well. But again, this numbers of women from various parts of predominant culture. In this situation, you think some numbers of South Korean women relating to this 4B movement know anything about this anti-American black hatred, as some people would say, from Fontes, how he feels about American blacks? Of course they won't know that, right? Because it ain't about them. So as long as it's not about them and it's about going toward American blacks, most people don't give a damn about that. And unfortunately, numbers of American blacks be trying to be the friends of everybody else on this. But let's continue.
Self-described misogynist influencer Andrew Tate, facing rape and sex trafficking charges in Romania, which he denies, responding to the 4B movement saying, now you don't even need abortions. Trump's Supreme Court picks helped overturn Roe v. Wade, unleashing a wave of protests nationwide. His position on abortion access has varied, but during the final stages of his campaign, saying states should decide.
Look, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm not. Let me start right there. I'm not going to keep playing that. I mean, it makes I get tired. Just get tired on that. And here's the thing about it is that, give me one moment. And here's the thing about it on that situation. When I sit there and saw that, look, whatever feminists want to do, however on that part, but it's just an embarrassment that there is not enough males to see the game that's going on. And what that does is affect the younger generation of males coming up, right? And this is the embarrassing part because feminism is very bad. But let me go ahead and play the other video. See, the thing about it is they don't want to talk. And this kind of got me, this particular video. It really did get me because this kind of situation, now this has nothing to do with race at all. White feminism or feminism, they despise males across the board. This really kind of got me because this was this particular Hispanic male. And this is not going to be shown too much, right? From feminism, right? They don't like this. Let me go ahead and play this because this really did get me.
Next is a video starting with 3BV0C. Metadata shows date modified 12/29, 12:36 p.m. of 2019.
Yeah. So you remember this. So you remember this.
Mm.
Are you drunk right now?
No, ma'am.
How much alcohol did you drink?
Enough. You drunk?
You're slurring your words. You're sleeping up against the door right now.
Yeah, because I want to be next to you.
Did I not tell you to not bother me?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is it you come up and do? What time is it right now? It's 1:20 a.m.
I haven't bothered you since then. I just go to sleep.
But didn't I tell you before at 9:30 to not bother me at all?
Yes.
Because why?
Yeah, I told you tomorrow.
Nope. Because I've been up since 4 a.m. since yesterday when you fucked with me.
Yes, ma'am.
I know how much vodka was in that bottle. And what's the bottle now?
Kind of to throw it out.
What does that mean?
1 week free.
The bottle's empty. I know how much vodka was in there. Enough for 2 people to have a really good time. And who drank it? I want it to be documented that I'm leaving you, which means that you're getting out. You're getting out. You're getting out.
Nobody's leaving nobody. Now.
And the reason why you were even downstairs and weak enough to get drunk was because you don't give a shit about me. You don't listen to what I say. Special things that I keep on my front page of my phone so I remember to tell you about it. This is how special and fun it is. I always bother you. I always bore you. You don't listen to me. Yesterday was my first day at work, remember? And now you have 90% hearing about your day and 10% about mine.
You don't bother me or anything, you know, talking. Sometimes you just you overwhelm me.
Mm, 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 mm. Wow. That particular, I didn't even play the whole video. That particular part was from this particular Hispanic guy. This particular Hispanic guy that was in a relationship with this deranged white feminist and stuff like that. You see how he just looked like he was just nothingness, right? How she was emotional and mentally abusing him. You know how many domestic abusing on top of that he unfortunately lost his life behind the hands of her. It was supposedly some kind of game that there was a suitcase in which he supposedly got inside. And then when he was trying to get out, she would not let him out. And he had trying to get his fingers out of there. And she would hit it with like a baseball bat or something to push them fingers back in there. And unfortunately, he succumbed to that. But where is the white feminism out on that? Where's the numbers of South Korean women that practice the 4B movement talking about things like that? Of course not, right? Because again, certain numbers of women within the Panamese culture within the U.S. are numbers of South Korean numbers of women, God, or goddesses, right? So, and the thing about it is, on the 4B movement, you say, okay, all right, what about this again?
Really be clear about that. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No, because
Right? They ain't gonna talk about that, right? They're gonna talk about how Kamala was like, nope, she ain't doing nothing for black folks, right? But you had numbers of white feminists that wanted just to have that a woman in office, right? Even though again, she wasn't gonna do nothing for black folks, did not do nothing for American blacks for within the 4 years within Biden administration, right? And Biden didn't do nothing either, right? Don't get it confused, right? Open borders, working numbers, open borders, and et cetera, right? Helping out border breaker, illegal immigrant personnel, right? And you think there's no immigrant numbers of personnel the ones applies to that want to see Kamala in office because they know it would have been even extremely more open borders. Do you see the game on that, right? See, they don't care about American blacks. That's irrelevant. They want immigration onslaught, which is a whole different topic that many numbers of American blacks don't even realize what's happening, right? Now, again, let me sit there and show, let me sit there and show you this other part. Now, remember, what about American blacks, right? In the last 4 years, Biden, Harris, they're doing nothing for black folks. No anti-American, no anti-black hatred bill, even though American blacks are the number one most hated group, right? Didn't do anything for American blacks. Again, allowed multi-millions of record-breaking, illegal border-breaking immigrants come over here and pseudo ones that sit there and set up shop, free hotels, free food, free. How many numbers ones that popped out those kids left and right? Automatic citizenship, bam, 14th Amendment of the Constitution, laughing at American blacks on that. By the way, that's what they're doing, right? I'm telling you, these people do not give a dang about American black pain, right? And those American blacks don't understand that, right?
Just put my hands, man. I'm not going on the ground here. Here, just put my hands. Would you stop? Please, would you stop? Would you stop? Hey, he told you he's hurt. My hand, my wrist. I just had surgery. Would you stop? I'm right here with my hands like this. What is y'all doing, man? Hey, bro, you see this? I got you. You see it? I got my phone right there. You see it? I was trying to be cool. Hey, man, I'm not the rest of it. Telling you that I'm not finna sit down. You escalated everything. Who? The cop. He escalated everything. How y'all gonna say how y'all gonna sit here and put me in the handcuffs because my baby got kidnapped?
Yes, that situation with that American black man who was taking care of his daughter, right? Because remember, American black males are supposed to be deadbeats and don't want to take care of their kids and just want to spread their seeds all over the place, which is a dang lie, right? The majority of black males in relationship prefer to be in relationships. The majority of black males that sit there and have kids are involved in their kids' lives, be it formally or be it a custodialship or non-custodialship. But they don't they don't talk about that. The majority of say the males who pay child support do pay their child support. It's actually numbers of women that don't pay child support on time the most. But people don't talk about that, right? It is disgusting, but it's understandable because there's not enough numbers of males to stand up and call this bull crap out when they are doing these kind of things, right? So again, where's the 4B movement at, right? In various parts of South Korea, where's the numbers of women, that immigrating over, the ones it applies to in America? Where are they talking about this hatred of black male hatred, right? Anti-black male hatred. Where is this conversation about the bad seeds, the ones that applies to that do anti-American black hatred, right? Where's all the conversation about that from feminists? They don't care, right? You should understand that, right? It is about misogynistic hatred of males in general, but especially American black males, right? Trying to tell you, and numbers of males, and there's numbers of American black males that don't realize what's going on. Feminism, white feminism is deranged. It's deranged, right? Give me 1 second. There was another thing I wanted to give me a second. Well, let me show you this something for a second. I think this is 19. Let me play this.
Walked out of the Democratic convention for delegates.
Now, remember, this is related to this is related to the elections, right? I think this is 1940s or 1960s, which are one of these elections, right? Were about Strong Thurman, who was what they call a Dixiecrat. And so in this particular election part of it, that there was a conversation about some civil rights, right? Which is very general, right? Civil rights, which is supposed to be about American blacks, but it's not. It's diluted down, right, for different culture and backgrounds. Anyway, it goes in different directions, not specific for American blacks. And so these particular section of Democrats broke out and formed the Dixiecrats, right? And one of their main particular presidential personnel that they wanted to pick was a governor who became governor of South Carolina, right? This guy was a known segregationist, a known anti-American black bigoted type person, right? But at the same time, again, high numbers of Democrats in history. Go look it up. People who don't know numbers of history, there were certain numbers of Democrats who was shown anti-American black hatred, not the Republicans. By the way, don't get it confused. What we call Republicanism is not the same type of Republicanism as before, but it still does not matter because still, right? Who gave American black reparations? Democrats, Republicans, neither, right? So don't get it confused, right? Now, if American blacks, truly start realizing independent, there might be some things that have changed, but that's not going to ever happen. This is why I say half a generation to one generation left before the overall complete destruction of the American black culture collectively. But that's not the topic today. But let me go ahead and play this. Now, again, this has to do with elections. I think it was 1940 something. I think it was, or 60s, one of the two. What it was.
Walked out of the Democratic convention, formed their own party. The delegates who walked out of the Democratic convention formed their own party.
The Southern revolt against President Truman reaches its climax at Birmingham under the states' rights banner.
The so-called Dixiecrats nominated the South Carolina governor Strong Thurman as their presidential candidate.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negro race into our theaters, into our swimming pools, into our homes, and into our churches.
Again, where is the 4B movement, numbers of South Korean women talking about that? Oh, I forgot. How many of them have no dang clue about true American black history, right? How many of them weren't even alive? when this was talked about in America. Many of them weren't even alive, right? You see how this goes, right? So they are so goddess struck about certain numbers of women within the Panama-based culture under white feminism that they don't give a damn about American blacks history, especially American black males, right? And so you see me talking about elections, and the video I showed you again, I think it's 1940 something or one of the 1960s elections, one of the two on that one. And you see what Strong Thurman talking about the N-word race. That is why the N-word needs to be destroyed. That N-word is a terribleness, right? And it's still being used left and right. But that's a whole different topic in itself. And supremacists love when they hear numbers of black folks use that word, even though collectively most don't. Doesn't matter. They like when some of the numbers of American blacks use it, and do you have some other different cultures use it? Don't have no damn idea why they're damn using it, right? They have no damn clue, right? Whole different topic in itself, right? So the thing about it is, numbers of women within the Panama-based culture in America, they don't give a dang about what's going on about going toward American blacks. They don't give a damn about that, right? They only worry about numbers of women issues within certain parts of Panama-based culture, who are again disseminating their feminist, deranged hatred, right, of males in general, but especially toward American blacks, their strategies, right? And at the same time, they are using other women, right, to be pawns. I mean, the white feminism, boy, is brilliant, right? Let me see here. Give me 1 second here. Let me sit there and show this. Because remember, one of the things I was saying, give me one moment here. And one of the things I was sitting there saying as well is that, give me 1 second, is that they're using nodes of black women. But here's the crazy part about it, is that when they are this particular woman, which she's not a woman, but of trans version, and listen what they're saying, and this is again, this is an embarrassment on top of that, because the great James Baldwin, who was an American black male who just happened to be, had alternative lifestyle category. Okay, however, that's on him. At the same time, he understood first, he was a black man first within America. And he was shown hatred, not because he was a black male that just happened to be of a alternative lifestyle category. He was shown hatred first because he was a black male. And how many still to the modern day, certain numbers of black males within certain parts of the alternative lifestyle category have been shown hate by certain numbers of males within the Padang-based culture and certain numbers of women within the Padang-based culture that just happen to be of the alternative lifestyle category. How many of them have shown hatred to blacks? So when this stuff right here, this is what makes it even embarrassing, even extra more.
The 4B movement, ladies, get into it. I also plan on no more DL men. As a feminine gay man with a pussy, not a fully support the 4B movement, and with that in solidarity.
He said effeminate gay male. That's what he said. As a feminine gay male, that's what he said. See, again, white feminism is laughing at personnel like this as well. However, numbers of South Korea women will be under the 4B movement indoctrination, will be laughing at this kind of person as well, saying, "Oh, look at this Negro, alternative lifestyle category, trans, wink, wink, trans to woman. They're sitting there fighting for our movement too." Ha 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 ha.
I'm gonna further enforce. I want to talk to the dogs, the girls, the gays, etc. Leave these DL men out to dry. Delete them from your roster permanently. If you hadn't done it before, now is the time. Make that stance today. When women pick up that rose and leave them in the dust, they're going to come to us. Let them sit with their thoughts and their miserable mindsets that led them to vote against our rights and stand on the wrong side of history, and just let them stand there and get all the blue, coldest balls in the world. If they didn't want to vote blue, let them have the coldest blue balls of their entire life, and I hope it hurts like hell.
So according to this particular black trans woman, because numbers of males that voted for blue or did not vote for blue, no matter who, they're bad. But numbers of women that within the predominant culture, ones that voted for Trump, right? It's very quietness overall. You see how that goes, right? See how that goes. Even though when you had Obama, who they pulled out and put Obama out there and insulted the hell, and the ones that relayed this over to sit there and sold the heck out of black males specifically, not Hispanic males, not Asian males, not what we call Native American males, not border breaker, illegal immigrant males, none of that. It outright just insulted black males and start acting as if, well, before the election, well, the brothers don't really don't vote. They don't, they want to vote for that guy, or maybe that's because, they don't want to see a woman in office. And you're like, what in the dumb crap is that? Right? When Hillary Clinton ran for the presidential nomination, I think 2016, I think it was, the majority of black males voted for her. I mean, the majority of black males voted for her. In this election, 2024 presidential election, right? As far as the numbers as well, the collective amount of eligible males across the board, black, white, Hispanic, Native American, Asian, etc., the number one group of males that voted for Kamala, for blue, is black males. And a small number of black males voted for Trump. And you see how this game goes, but you got many people don't want to talk about this. It's, oh my goodness, Trump is back in office. That's a racist. He's a racist, right? But you say for 4 freaking years, right? 4 years, record-breaking, border-breaking, illegal immigrant personnel. 4 years, people helping out Trump, Biden, however other personnel helping out border-breaking, illegal immigrant personnel, allowing however numbers of record numbers of however immigrating group of personnel who don't give a damn about American blacks at all, right? They're in for them. And unfortunately, numbers of American blacks don't get it through numbers of black folks go. What's happening with that part, right? But the thing about it is that, so in this situation, relating to this particular wink, wink, parentheses, black trans male to woman, I guess, right? Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? Hey, if those males that are down low, if they voted for blue, numbers of trans black women and whoever other women don't allow those males to get a little bit of pudding pop from y'all too.
I do love this pumping red lip gloss from NYX though. Y'all see how pretty it is?
This is laughable.
What's crazy to me is there's always some type of Republican politician, old white man, or person who is super Christian religious that love to be at the glory holes and all the meetups. They be on Sniffies, Grindr. They know all the things. It's because it's things that they dabble in because they aren't able to express their truest self. And that includes the silent brigade of bisexual bigots who love to stomp around Nashville in their cowboy boots and be all online with each other and then love to scream, Trump, 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 until it's time for them to shower together and make some money. Because they've been indoctrinizing different type of cult-like behaviors that tell them the true things that they desire are wrong. And they, get their rocks off by like telling us we can't live our lives because they hate to see people having their own independence and agency over their body and liberation and being able to be so true and authentic with themselves. It drives them so crazy with so much hatred. So they want to do those things in the dark. And you are better than that. You are not going to be the vessel for them to live out their fantasies. Let them bitches live in hell.
I'm telling you, I had to stop that because I want them to keep playing the rest of that. Right? So this stuff is going it's so beyond nonsensical part out of hand. But watch this. Remember, oh my goodness. Or they were saying, oh my goodness, they had that hatred of trans people. Oh my goodness, the Trumpism people. Oh, they have such hatred for trans people. Now, think about it. On the Biden-Harris administration, you see here announces new actions to protect the L-ness, the G-ness, the B-ness, the Q-ness, the L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q-ness, plus communities, right? You see already protect L-ness, G-ness, B-ness, T-ness, Q-ness, communities from attacks on their rights and safety, support the same thing, plus kids so they can thrive, right? But they ain't talking about American black kids to thrive. Where was the Biden-Harris administration announcing new action to protect black Americans, to protect black youth, right? Nope. You see this? I mean, it is a disturbing tactic. It is a sad thing that there is just this rampant, egregious monstrosity type of nonsense that since Trump is about to become the president, right, that now it's all of us, it's racism, it's racism. And you like, first of all, when within Americanism did numbers of people stop having hatred for American blacks? Huh? American blacks have had the most hatred than anybody else in this country before many other countries and backgrounds and alternative lifestyle categories, etc., even existed in America. Right? And all this time, again, the number one most hated group has been American blacks, and still get no reparations. And you got people going buck crazy talking about because, oh my goodness, Trump was back in office, he had racists. As if racism has stopped under Biden and Harris administration, right? As if prior to that, when Trump was in there, as if at that time, things were such a wonderful in this racial relationship. It was not. But at the same time, some people would say economically, there was a betterment, some other things that was going on. But the point is that even prior to that, right? Obama being in office, right? What did Obama do for American blacks? Nothing, right? But they did DACA program, which is basically helping more Hispanicism, right? To allow more border breaking people to use their kids as spawns, to allow numbers of adults to run to America, right? Break border immigration laws pseudily, and don't worry about having to leave. And then numbers of women pop out the kids left and right, and then bam, automatic citizenship, right? You see the disgusting tactic of that, right? Under Obama administration, right? He gave what? Same sex, sex marriages, right? Declaration, right? For them to marry. That was an Obama administration, but nothing for American blacks. You see how this goes, right? But you got people, white feminism, and Harvard's numbers of South Korean women under the 4B movement just want people, and Harvard other women in various parts of certain parts of the planet, the one this applies to, right? Just to focus on Trump. You see how that goes, right? You see how that goes. Oh my goodness. Last thing.
Going to dominate all of these people simultaneously, all of the time, in everything that they do and say. And we're going to figure out a way to not only dominate them, but we are going to mistreat them. We're not just going to be their bosses. Okay. We're going to mistreat them. For what? For fun, for glory, and for material gain. Okay. That's what white supremacy is. What? The white supremacists will say anything. You will say, well, we have a system of white supremacy in place. This Neely Fuller, he's going around saying that there's a system of white supremacy. And the white supremacists will say, if they think it will work for them, they'll just simply say, Neely Fuller is crazy. There's no such thing as white supremacy. It doesn't exist. It never did exist. He's making it all up. They'll say anything. A white supremacist will say anything that they think that people will believe. They don't care. They use words to do one thing, to strengthen their position that's already in place.
What that do with the topic? Because there's this system of white feminism. Yes, there's a system of white feminism. That is they have their own caste system, right? And they utilize quite a number of women within various parts of America. And as you hear about the 4B movement, they are utilizing certain numbers of South Korean women, the one this applies to, and Harvard, other different various parts of first world countries that feminism is spreading to more. And here's the wild part about it. Even though it hasn't quite got there to that level, but it's going to be more. White feminism that's going to go into more parts of Africa. Yes. White feminism, they are going to more parts of Africa, be it directly or indirectly. This is why, again, they have these specific programs for however certain numbers of women within certain parts of Africa. Notice that, specifically for them. But the males out there, they be like, well, oh well, then they don't know, they out for themselves. Oh well, you see how that goes. Oh, they're very diabolical, white feminism, right? Now, certain parts of Africa, no, they may not get into gigantically. Africa's over 50 freaking countries, right? So of course they're not going to get into every single one. They don't need to, right? Just like I think what is it, close to 200 countries, a little bit over 200 countries around the planet. They're not going to get any. They don't need to get into 150 countries. That's irrelevant. They just need to sit there and get in quite a number of them, right? And then it will slowly get into other different countries. Do you not understand? White feminism is one of the most awesome mental manipulation forces for white feminism for women empowerment. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP show.